Hey there and welcome back to Yosemite Valley. Welcome on Hump Day. Thank you so much for clicking in. And as always, a little reminder, if you're new here and you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing. It helps me out. And also, as a little, so to say, gift for that, I have a little giveaway for you guys today. And this will be set somewhere in the commentary, so stick with me. And I'm going to talk about that rather soon. And then you can comment something special down below in the comment section. And you are already in the raffle for the giveaway. I'll have another game code that I'm going to give away. I have some good games now, like not AAA, but like very good games, very new, like indie games and stuff that I have some codes of. I don't want to say that beforehand. I will send them to you and hope that you guys are happy. But today we are going to build the first big exciting tank. It's one of two. The second one will be the last tank we built. In the next couple episodes we do a little bit of fish tanks and some smaller stuff, but this is one big tank and I've got a lot of topics to talk about because this is something very special and is hugely inspired by the deep sea tank in Burgers Zoo in the Netherlands. Since we've had a backstage tour last year with a Planet Zoo crew, including people like the Lady Designer and also Joel and so on. You know, we've been there and they gave us a backstage tour. The poor guy needed to talk English solely because of me, because all the other people were not unfortunately, the other ones were all Dutch. I wasn't the only one. I was the only one who couldn't speak Dutch. I mean, I could get somehow what he said, but you know, he was so kind to just do it for me. Anyhow, today we are going to build this big tank and there will be a bit of a interesting bit about this. I could fake a certain effect that I have in the zoo, but I'm going to talk about this as soon as we are there with the time lapse. Before we do so, I want to quickly address one topic that kind of popped up recently a little bit, and I think it just kind of is important to note that again. I think you guys have seen my latest video of discussing the potential of aquatic stuff in this game, and people just assumed also in the comments and so on that I was against speculating and why I was doing speculation videos now, which I think is rather confusing, but you know, I know that it's not like the best idea to pretend people would read carefully online. So just as a little note here, just to make it pretty obvious, I love speculation videos. I love speculating in general, as long as it's completely made obvious that it is speculation. And I guess also one thing that's really important, and you can see that especially now with the Mr. Trump in the US, that, you know, fake news and kind of, let's say, alternative facts. I mean, it's hard to describe, but, you know, basing things in non-existing facts or in weird facts, that is the dangerous part. And this is what makes me a little bit, I don't know, it's just a general thing, not only on YouTube, just also in general. I really don't like it when people base their arguments in stuff that is not very verified. And I've got a project in the making, a long-term project, to be honest, which is going to be released soon. It's kind of a certain second channel, and where I will address this problem a little bit. You know, it's kind of hard because I know that sometimes things slip through and stuff, but in general I have a certain issue with using certain elements as a evidence that is clearly not. You know, I mean, I have done 2 actual uni degrees where I had to write a freaking final exam, and I have been punished for not using I think 3 or 4 sources for one fact. And you know, in the internet it's kind of weird because everyone can push out stuff as a fact, and no one is really there to kind of control it. So it's very important to know where the sources are, and once we do speculation videos, it's very important, not for us, you know, and not for the people in there, but for the people watching the content. It's very important to make sure that you just somehow make obvious what is speculation and what not. And that is the only thing that I'm really, I have to say, I get pretty angry about this when this comes to a problem that people start to believe things that is, you know, that is not really true, because you know, people can't really control that themselves. You know, you would have to go in and expect your viewers to actually make the double check in science or scientific stuff or in other sources, which is not happening. You know, you are not here to dig source. I mean, I would love, you know, if whenever I do a mistake, whenever I have something wrong, I am the last one who's mad if you correct me down below in the comments, as you did multiple times, and I love it, you know, because sometimes it's even kind of hard to find the right facts online. So for example, you know, if we go back to the topic of the Aborigine thing with Ayers Rock or Uluru, that was clearly a thing where I didn't do my research properly. You know, I could have easily avoided that little thrip through when I would have done the research a little bit better. But honestly, I just didn't know better at that time. So that kind of caused this bit of very justified criticism. Was that pronunciation weird? So yeah, I just wanted to quickly address that. So in case you see some speculation videos or analytics videos or whatever in the future of games and, you know, purely basing that stuff in the released footage and stuff, this will happen, and I will keep on doing that because I think that is just kind of great stuff. But I will try to avoid using things as evidence that is not. And so I just wanted to address that because recently it has been quite often that people commented this, and I just wanted to address that rather quickly. Now, let's go back to the build here, and I think it's really important to make sure that today's build is basically a milestone in this building, because it's more or less defining the overall style of this of this build. I mean, it's been quite a hassle to build this all together because I know I don't make my life too easy by just using weird angles and stuff in all of my buildings. I could have easily sticked a bit more to the grid, but we all know that this would look boring, so I didn't do. And just making sure that the planters all look a little bit more similar than before, and just in general making sure that the building looks a bit more, or kind of has a bit more of a weight to it, and just making sure that the building itself looks a bit more predefined, and that the tour that the people have going through the building is a bit more guided also by the architecture of this build. Right, and now I just try to get my voice back in. I think for the future I need to kind of start chewing on a bee or something, or on a bit of honey. I don't know, just to make sure that my voice is surviving the overall time of recording. I have no idea why that is still. My voice is cracking so quickly, and in stream it's not that big of a deal. I don't know. Anyhow, now we get to the big thing here in this build, and before we just talk about this big sail and the usage of it and the reason why it is in, here's the little task for you guys. I want you to tell me in the comments what is your favorite animal and why. This is already part of the giveaway, but I want to make it a bit more hidden so that other people who don't follow the commentary don't know per se that this is a giveaway. So I want to know what is your favorite animal and why. Like, it's more for me, potentially more importantly, why, and not the animal itself. We had these questions quite often, but the why is really that thing. So please let me know in the comments down below what's your favorite animal and why. And now we are talking about this big sail over here. Now, if you've been to Burgers Zoo, or to any other zoo where you have like a deep sea tank, you might have seen that they have a certain lighting going on, so as if the back of the tank is not visible to you, and it looks almost like 100% dark, where the animals can swim into, well, basically the deep sea. And this is achieved by a very sneaky trick. What they have is above, like we've been backstage, and above the actual pool, and if I remember, I put an image in here, they have a freaking huge sail, like it's a super large sail and hanging above the tank, and then I have some very big floodlights that are basically lighting this big sail. And what happens is that this sail kind of casts the light, but in a different way, down into the tank, so that only the front part is lit, and the light is more or less like dispersed to the back of the tank, so that there is no more light casted into it, even if it's dark or like bright outside, because then just kind of the light is sucked away by the sail and just put in the right direction. And so this is what I wanted to create here as well. Now the problem obviously is that the tank itself is going to have some issues in daylight, because that's how the lighting engine in this game works. It doesn't really cast the shadows properly from the elements in there, just the sun is casting shadows, and that's why we're running into the issue that we can't make it dark enough in here as of the tank, so that we always have the lighting going on. That would have been awesome, but unfortunately, and this is also why the thumbnail is the way it is, this is the reason why I kind of tried to make it a bit more different this time and focused a bit more on the nighttime view. So actually, I think this is a very cool thing to mention, and I really love that this works kind of in this game. I mean, it doesn't really work the way it is working in real life. That's simply because the game lighting engine doesn't work that well. I mean, that would be asked a little bit too much, because that's kind of a freaking, I mean, that's almost like it is basically ray tracing, what you would need in here, and this game is not optimized for ray tracing, so that's definitely not a thing. But yeah, we're just making sure that the tank looks kind of cool here, and there will be also like a little sneaky Easter egg in here. I'm not sure if this is in the, I left it in the time lapse. If not, I'm not going to talk about that, but if the time lapse is catching it, I'll quickly talk about this. But yeah, you can see this, I think the first time that I could finally use some of these broken Arctic pieces. I think I never used them before because I never really understood why I would, but now as for this kind of underwater thing, this is kind of cool. By the way, also a little nice little fact, as a side fact or whatever, whatever you see in tanks looking like wood is obviously not wood, because if you would put wood down, oh god, wood, then it kind of obviously would kind of be destroyed very quickly, simply because the water is affecting the wood and make it go destroyed. I don't know the English term for it, but it would basically just go kind of, yeah, just go kind of break after a while, because it's like the water is not good for wood and stuff like that. Now, after a while, I just did a little bit of research, and they have always like pretty like plastic or other kind of organic, not organic, but like other material that is pretty much working underwater. Sometimes it's even like partly metal, but it's not like mostly metal, because that's also not good for the water. If you've got metal and there are some little things in the metal that is creating bad things for the water, that's also not a good idea. So you mostly have material that is also very like economy or like friendly in terms of chemicals and stuff, and then this is just like painted again with a waterproof paint as if it was wood. So you know, in this game we can't do it obviously, but just as per realism, we should assume that this is not actual wood, but this would be like a something of a different material that is painted in the texture of wood. That's what you mostly do in these aquariums to make it look like. But yeah, so this is it. You can see I'm putting the roof on top already, just to make sure it all looks good. I made like a double layer so we can stick some, you know, stuff like lamps and stuff in between, so it's not like really going through. And then we have a little bit of a cut in here, which is going to be a little bit higher than the rest of the aquarium. So we will have a little bit of a raised glass opening, so we have a lot of like light in there, but that will all happen in the next episode. Actually, not in the next episode, but in the episode after that one, simply because there's just so much to do in this build. And yeah, I wanted to create it as realistic as possible. So I was doing a lot of side entrances to like backstage and make sure it's all connected rather realistically. And yeah, I think in the end, I'm more proud of this build. It's going to be a hard task to provide this thing as an overall blueprint, but I think it's going to work. The only issue, obviously, it's going to be that you have to put all the inside walls and barriers in there yourself, because that's still the issue, that you can't really copy or like blueprint the barriers that are within the area of your habitat. So basically what it means is that the blueprint function for the habitats always only uses the outside barriers, and whatever is inside the habitat is only scenery that is being copied, but the barriers will be ignored. So that means you have to basically build all the tanks yourself, and this is going to cause some issues because you have to raise the walls of the tanks before you can fill in the water and stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a hard thing. I will see if I can figure out how to do this. Maybe make sure that I provide you with a certain type of blueprint that is working. But yeah, so last things we do in today's video is just making sure that we create the overall layout already, so you can have a little glimpse of what is coming next. So basically what I wanted to do is to have like a back area, or like a second area, which has also like a very big tank. So we have two big tanks that are to the right and to the left of this aquarium, and then in the middle we have a whole bunch of other smaller tanks going on, and then we have this raised up pet area of the stingrays. Also, thank you so much guys for all the input, and in fact also some of you were mentioning that the skin of stingrays that they touched were not really rough, and I just also did a little research, and I think I only where I have been was simply the only species that is a bit more rough, and in fact all the other stingrays, or mostly the most stingrays, are super smooth indeed. I can't really explain why, to be honest. I think they don't need this aerodynamic, which again is the wrong word, but they don't need this, how is this even called? There is a term for it, even in German, but I can't think of it. It's something like being very, it's not ergonomically fitting, but like, you know, that you have like a very perfect shape to move as quick as possible into one direction, and to reduce the upcoming drag from whatever kind of area you're in, whether it's water or air. If you know it, guys, please let me know in the comments down below. What is the term for it, actually? But anyways, this is the end of today's episode. You will see some lovely little screenshots at the end. I really do hope you caught on the giveaway. If not, make sure to listen to the middle part of the video again. This is where I'm saying that. And for now, have a good time, everyone. Enjoy your day, and I see you in the next one. Watching this video. I really do appreciate it. I really hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I was really happy to have you here. In case you enjoyed it and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to consider subscribing. You can do it via this button here, and if you want to see more, there's some cool other stuff linked here for you. This is suggested for you personally. That's pretty cool. And in case you want to support the channel a tiny bit more, you can do it via this wonderful Hype Camel link over here. I really would appreciate it. And also, big thank you already to all the people who do already support the channel. Really do appreciate that. But now, have a wonderful time, guys, and I catch you in the next one.